Hey guys, welcome. It's Robert Blackman. Welcome to the MLM Mile, where there's always something to learn on it. Today I want to talk about one of my biggest pet peeves that as I'm getting older that I hear constantly, or I'm reading online where somebody blogs or makes a comment and they say, no matter what the issue is, they go, blank is what gives this industry a bad name. And I just laugh because I go, grow up. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I used to be that person. I used to be the one that was very hypercritical of anything that caused me from making money without having to work, okay? Or where I was jealous of somebody else's success at a pen level or a company, somebody who had been with me in one program, they went to another one, they weren't successful with me, but they became successful with the other company, and they had some advantage, or there was something going on, or a company closes, like as reason they closed down their network marketing division recently. All sorts of scandals going on. So I just want to give you a little dose of reality and also give you an action that has changed my life early on in my career. Number one, Target up in Canada. If you've been reading online lately or in the newspapers, you know that Target is closing 131 stores. They're laying off 17,000 people. So the question, if you're going to have on that mentality, is Target giving retail companies a bad name? Number two, Bernie Madoff. Madoff with a lot of money in Wall Street. So are brokers giving Wall Street a bad name? We can go on and on, okay? But the point about it is we're not an industry. We don't make steel. We're not a printing company where we're not printing stuff. We're a profession. I'm a sales professional. If I was a real estate guy, I would say, hey, I'm a real estate professional. And I was at one point. I sold insurance, and I called myself an insurance professional. So I'm a network marketing professional. I learned that from Eric Worre. So I'm going to pass it on to you. That's my second biggest pet peeve. Stop saying industry. We're not an industry. We're a profession. We're a group of professionals that are out promoting independent contractor-like different products for different companies. But here's what turned my career around. I was one of those type of people that wasn't even making $1,000 a month early in my career. And I was a complainer. I was a know-it-all. I was somebody that I could pick you apart in 5 seconds. I could pick apart that pay plan. I could scroll down, look at an ingredient, go, aha, do you see this ingredient? That killed somebody in London in some kind of lab rat test, or a monkey. Something bad happened. There's reports about that. You can't take that product. I mean, I was just that guy. That's just kind of my mentality. That came from the printing business itself because I had to be very critical. I was a proofreader. So I carried that into my network marketing career. So at one point, my sponsor, I got on the phone with him and I was complaining. I was bitching about something of our company. And here's what he said, honestly, is what he said. Robert, shut the hell up. I don't want to hear another word out of you until you've gone out and you've earned a year's worth of salary at your job. What do you make at your job, Robert? And I go, I make $40,000 a year working for my dad. He goes, go make $40,000 a year in network marketing, then come back and complain to me. He goes, other people are able to make $40,000 a year in network marketing. Why aren't you? There are even people in our company, Robert, that are doing that. Why aren't you? I didn't like that conversation, and my response to him wasn't good. But when I hung up the phone and I walked around the house and I fumed and I fretted and I almost called him back again to get into a fight, and I go, you know what? He's right. I need to put that same critical eye that I did on this profession. Back then I called it an industry because we were making steel or something, I guess. I don't know. But I put that same critical eye on Robert Blackman at that point in my career. And what I found out, I was a mess. I was a freaking know-it-all and a no activity guy. I hadn't showed a plan in months. And I was complaining that my check was going down because my team wasn't showing plans. So I would call and beat them up. I'd call my upline and beat them up because I wasn't getting any help from them. So I stopped and I said this, okay, it was a 2-point plan. Number one, you know, we talk about begin with the end in mind. So I had read Stephen Covey's book and I was still a jerk, okay? I wasn't applying any of the principles, but I read the book and I even had it underlined, all right? So I said during that evening, I said, okay, it's time to apply something that I've read. You know, I believe in reading books, but I also believe that if you read a book, you need to go apply the principles somehow, somewhere in your personal or your business life as an adult, okay? And I wasn't doing that at the time. So again, another critical eye on Robert Blackman. I said, I am going to put that same critical eye on me. So if I'm going to make $40,000 and save it, so I can go back to my sponsor and go, ha, I did it. Because he challenged me. He goes, I challenge you. He goes, I dare you to shut up, stop complaining, and go make $40,000 and put it in the bank. Then you can quit your job. Shut up already. I'm tired of hearing about it. All you do is complain and bitch. When's the last time you showed the plan? When's the last time you sponsored someone? You read all these books. Why don't you act like it? And he was right. He was right. I was more than intelligence on ice. I was a smart ass on ice. Okay. And I've got some of those on my team. I have my whole life. You will too. So I backed into it and I go, okay, what's my activity? How many, what's the sales volume got to be? How many people is that going to be? How many plans is that got to be? How many people do I have to contact that have to be? And how many hours a week do I have to do that? So I got a burn in my belly to shut up and go make a year's worth of income and save it. I put my head down and I put the blinders on and I said, I'm going to prove my sponsor wrong. I am somebody. I am a good person. I am worthy of this business. And the reason why this business isn't paying me yet is that I'm not a network marketer. So I had to find out what, I wanted to be a network marketer, but I wasn't acting like one. So I had to first go find the definition of what is a network marketer. And here was my definition, what I found out. A network marketer is a guy or gal who's willing to work eight days a week. The old Beatles song, 8 days a week. I coined that at that time. Okay, I've got to be willing. I know I may not work on Sundays if we go to church, but if somebody calls me, I'm going to call them back. I'm going to serve more people than myself. I'm going to put up, since this is about duplication, and I started doing the charts and the drawing the circles and seeing if 4 who get 4 and 5 who get 5, all those things. How much? What's the volume in this leg? And I said, well, this is in order for me to make $40,000. I can't do it alone. I mean, I can be a network marketing salesperson, but that's going to pay me a few $1,000s a month, and I'm going to have to use that money to go reinvest it in how I'm doing the business because it's not duplicatable. Running ads, buying leads, mailing stuff. There's $1,000. If I made 4, I'd spend $1,000. So, and then I came to the point where there was only so many hours a day that I could personally call people. And then I got to the point where I couldn't call people back because I was too busy calling other new people. So then they got discouraged and quit. So I had to find that balance for Robert Blackman. You've got to find that balance for yourself. You don't have to work 8 days a week, but you have to be willing to work 8 days a week. You've got to be willing to instant message people, text people, invite them, point them places. If they want to know what the pay plan is, create a pay plan audio or a pay plan video and put it up and say, go watch that. Then call me back with your questions or text. I'm at dinner with my family. Go watch that and text me your questions. Okay, so there's a way, a balance. It doesn't have to be all or nothing, that you have to do everything or you do nothing and get frustrated. The reason I'm saying that's because that's my personality. And a lot of people in this business are that all or nothing. They're balls to the wall or you can't scrape them off the ground. Okay, that's the mentality of some salespeople. And unfortunately, that happened to be mine. So I had to find safeguards for Robert Blackman. And one of them was to create a goal that a guy told me, I dare you to go do it. And with your attitude right now, I doubt if you'll ever do it. So he ticked me off. And the reason he ticked me off because he challenged me. He got in my face, not physically, but he got up in my business and he challenged me. And he was right. And I knew he was right and I didn't like that. And so then I started critiquing it and said, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be humble. I'm going to have to give in to duplication. I'm going to have to go sponsor 4 people, knowing that one of those people are probably going to go duplicate. I'm going to stay in touch with the other 3. I'm not going to call and chew them out. If they drop off auto ship, I'm going to try to help them. I'm going to serve them because they know people that I don't know. And I learned that. I learned to get to them. That's the 6 degrees of separation, that book, that movie, that reality in this business. It's not who I know, it's who my team knows and who they know. So I became an expert at referrals. Hey, go watch this video and tell me who I should talk to. That was it. I penetrated my warm market. I got to my warm market's warm market. Then I went to the cold market. I turned my cold leads into warm leads. And then I got to my cold leads warm market and duplicated. That's it. And I stayed the course. I excluded all the drama out of my ears, all the distractions. I was having a conversation today with one of the ladies at our kids' school about, and I have a 10 and 12-year-old that go to a private school. And we're talking about the distractions that kids have with phones and Snapchat, Facebook, and Twitter, and all of the competition that the girls have to look good, and how some of these kids at age 12 know more than I did at 18 because I just wasn't exposed to it. Well, if you translate that same conversation about how our culture is changing with our children, look how that our culture has changed for us adults. I guarantee you can come home tonight from work and go to Facebook and spend 4 hours on it and not hit a lick towards your business, not generate one lead, not expose your business to anybody. So take my challenge today. And here's what I challenge you. Before you go to bed tonight, I want you to write down what you make per year. And I want you to take the challenge, the Robert Blackman challenge. I dare you to go save that much money in the bank before you complain. Now, there's legitimate complaints. Your company's not paying you. That's a complaint. Okay. But there's thousands of great companies. Go to the DSA. I talked to a gentleman today, was up in Yukon, and I live in Norman. He's going to come into my lead program with me. And he says, what company would you recommend? And I told him the company I was in. And he says, well, if I don't want to join that company, and I said, go to the DSA. Go to any company that's on that list that's doing over $5 million a month. It takes about $65 million a year to get on that list. And I goes, that's not a guarantee, but it's a starting point if you don't know. Because they've gone through those trials and tribulations and mistakes. And so, go with the company that's 5 years or older, and, just some basic common sense things. Look, there's lots of stocks that I could call my stockbroker and said, here's my interest level. I want low risk, I want medium risk, and I want to sprinkle some in high risk. Okay, now that's investing, and that's totally different. You have to not pick your poison, but I say pick your passion. Okay, so don't, and I've said that in the past. Hey, you just got to pick your poison and stick with it. And I've changed that because I think that's a negative. You've got to pick your passion. The primary business I'm in, I'm passionate about. I could sit here and talk about it for an hour, about my sponsor, about the company, the products, how easy it is. I feel like the company's never going to close. They're on the top 25 list. Okay, so I'm very confident with that at my age. But I've also been in companies that are 2 years old. And I find myself having all these conversations about they changed the pay plan and they haven't paid us in 6 weeks. What's up with that? That's hard to build a business with that. You can, but it's hard. So you have to pick your passion. I've picked my passion. I have a primary business and I have profitleads.com. That's what I do all day long. And it pays more than the bills. It gives me a lifestyle and a time freedom that's important to me. But that all started with that conversation where he said, Robert, shut up. Go save a year's worth of salary and then come back to me and complain. And that helped me. That helped me give clarity and focus on what I needed to do. And I have found in this business, my biggest problems that I end up having when I look at them are me. Because there's always going to be problems out there. There's always going to be a company that has something that doesn't go on. Put your head down, pick your passion, and go to work. I hope this has helped you today. And thanks for sitting with me on the MLM Mile. Have a great day.